The story traces my roots. My mother descended from the Meramas, while my father descended from the Lemayan, a Maasai family. In the next serialized episodes, I will be describing the story. A story with many stories, yet with one main story. The following is the prologue to this story. The story begins with the killing of the twins. It was the late morning. I had just finished drawing blood from my Egaini Kimwamu, the big black chief bull within the homestead. Tradition required that to maintain such a bull healthy and strong, it had to be periodically pierced with an arrow at a vein in the neck and allow a liter or so of blood to gush out into an ekehe, and this was a special abakuria basket that could contain liquid. The blood would be used to eat meat with and to make blood sauce. Part of the blood would be boiled while being stirred so that it coagulated to form a soft, edible delicacy. Suddenly there was a shriek from our neighbor, Merama's homestead. It sent shockwaves and alarm through the numerous grass-thatched huts that dotted the Misiwa village in the Abakuria land. Something was not right. I armed myself with an Abakuria sword and irungu, a kind of mace fashioned from a branch with a bulge. Merama was known to be a very peaceful man in our neighborhood, and unlike many men, he was not known to beat his wives or his children. Maybe he had been attacked, I thought, as I sauntered towards his homestead. As I edged closer to Merama's homestead, I saw a few members of his family and relatives milling around the entrance to the obori, the cow's enclosure. The horn blew 2 times at close interval, then a long blow which died out gradually. Oh no, this wasn't a good sign at all. Merama's second wife had given birth to twins, and as the Abakuria tradition demanded, such a birth was not allowed. The long horn that had died gradually signified that the twins were in the process of being gotten rid of, killed by their own father by being drowned in a pot of water. I was now standing at the entrance to the obori, quite some distance from where the twins were being eliminated as demanded by ancestors. Poor creatures, they were held upside down, each held by the left leg, as their heads were submerged inside a clay pot full of water, allowing them to drown together to death. I could not help but see the bravery on Merama's face as he finally pulled out of the pot the dead twins and laid them on a black skin of a goat. Not uttering a word, Merama motioned to his eldest son Chacha to go away from the vicinity to avoid coming into contact with the evil spirits from the dead infants, which, so it was believed, could kill him prematurely. Chacha, to the amazement of all present, defied his father and instead walked up to him, stood next to the dead babies, and with contorted face and red-hot anger flowing through his veins, Chacha thundered at his father. "What is a son for? Tell me, Tata. What is a son for? Of what value am I to you if I cannot fight your battles and protect you? Enough is enough, Tata. Down with our ancestors. They have lain on our people cultures too heavy to bear, cultures too inhuman to comprehend. I have just witnessed my own 2 little brothers being killed in the hands of their own father. I challenge the dead old fools who are destroying our good in the name of ancestors' taboos and prohibitions. I dare them to come up against me." Chacha pulled out his traditional sword from its red painted sheath. There was dead silence as everyone wondered what would happen next to this brave, arrogant boy who was barely a few seasons old. They expected him to die suddenly or be struck by some mysterious ancestral spirits, maybe even by lightning. Chacha had dared where nobody had ever dared. Even more daring and unimaginable was what Chacha did next. Putting back his sword into the sheath, he picked up the dead twins, touching them, and clasped them in his bosom, and thundered, "I dare you, O great ancestors! You who destroy your own instead of protecting them. Here, take these corpses and eat them." Not wanting to witness the fiery punishment that the ancestors were about to unleash on Chacha and his father, all the mourners present took to their heels, leaving behind a bewildered Chacha and his father, who stood speechless and in total confusion. On seeing the relatives and mourners running away, Chacha called his father aside, offered him a three-legged Abakuria stool. "Tata, I am sorry. I have an obligation to protect you, even from the spirits of ancestors. There was absolutely no reason whatsoever for us to kill these two children. This custom has to stop, or else you must go out to seek answers from diviners as to why you are being punished in the most painful manner. As your firstborn, I will not accept any more cultural death, especially deaths propagated by any member of this family. In the name of tradition, never." Merama was too shaken to talk. He could only stare at his brave but often arrogant son. He shook his head both in the affirmative and negative. Chacha took his two dead siblings, went and laid them in the same grave, side by side, covered them with the hide they had been laid on, and covered them with soil. From a distance, the neighbors and relatives stood peeping through the shrubs as they waited for something tragic to happen to the Meramas. Chacha summoned his two mothers, Wankuru and Muruga, and in anger told them, "My mothers, take note that the war we are fighting is between us and our ancestors, the dead spirits. If we stick together, we will withstand. But divided, we will fall and die. None of you should go close to father, as he is too shaken. I am in charge. Mama Muruga, you have to let go. Be strong for the family. You have lost far too much. I will not allow any more killing of twins. In my father's family, this was the last." Dear viewer, don't miss the next episode of Chapter 1 of Merama of the Abakuria. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and be part of the African Untold, the undocumented history